This is not what Devil fans wanted to hear. The road ahead gets a little bit longer with opportunities to jump on an exit and take the shortcut. Devils stay sitting in traffic. Welcome in to Devils Digest. Feel free to click the subscribe button. Devils Hurricanes game 2 tonight. Hurricanes led the series 1-0. They now lead it 2-0. 3-1 loss tonight for New Jersey. Look, coming into this series, I had a few points on how the Devils can be successful in this series, how the Devils can be good in this series, and how they can go out and win this series. One of the things with the Devils, and I think we understand and we know, is knowing the circumstances. You have a team that is hurt. You haven't scored as much. You haven't won as much in the second half of the season. You're playing a Carolina team that's one of the best in the league at disallowing chances. They don't allow a ton. One of the things that you have to do, especially in that situation in a 7-game series, you have to find a way to take advantage of your chances. You're hurt. You are going to have a different look. It's a different lineup. You have to find a way to take advantage of your chances. What have the Devils done so far this series? Well, a top 3 power play has gone 0 for 5. The game-winning goal tonight was a shorthanded goal for Carolina. They missed on about 3 grade A chances. Justin Dowling had a really nice chance in the second period. Nate Bastian had a chance on a, odd man rush. Timo Meier, puck was fluttering on him. I don't blame that one as much. But if he connects with it, it's an empty net. You tie the game at too late. They have to find a way to commit on chances. Get their chances. And tonight, they didn't do that. I mean, that's what an injured team has to do. They have to understand they're going to get less chances. In the playoffs, you do get less chances automatically. When you're playing a Carolina team that allows the least in the NHL, and you don't commit on basically any of them, this is what's going to happen. And they've scored 2 goals through 2 games in this series. You look at the team, they're not a team that, obviously they're hurting a little bit offensively. This isn't a team where you're looking at it and you go, they can't score at all. No, they still have an 80-point player, a guy who scored 40, another player who scored 70. This still is a team that can create offense. They have not so far in this series. And when they do create, they haven't taken advantage. They've scored 2 goals in 2 games. Much better look than it was in game 1. I will say that. Devils got out to a fast start. They had 7 shots inside of the first 7 minutes. Last game, it took them over 25. They had a goal, the first goal of the game, actually. It took only a little bit of time for them to get on the board. They took advantage of a chance. But taking advantage of one chance isn't going to do it. Think back to game 1, Nico Hischier's goal. It was from the outside. Probably a stoppable puck from Frederik Andersen stops it most of the time. They get a goal there. Those aren't coming as much, and they're not going to be coming up as much anymore. I mean, when you have injuries and, you have defensemen out and your number 1 center's out, those chances are going to be less and less. And when you have, the grade A chances from like a Justin Dowling when he's, in the slot, gets the puck right out to the slot, that's a pretty big scoring chance. They didn't convert there. Nate Bastian, another one, didn't convert there. Timo Meier at the end of the game had a chance to tie it late, didn't work out. But those are the things that you have to commit on. Now, going on to the power play. Because this one is completely inexcusable. You have a top 3 power play unit in the NHL. All year long, they were 32% without Jack Hughes. And now in the playoffs, it just doesn't exist anymore. It's basically gone. It's 0 for 5. If anything, it's helped out Carolina. Carolina scored on the Devils' power play. Now, Carolina's power play hasn't been good either, and we talked about it before the series started. Personnel does matter. Carolina doesn't have, a bunch of, star players who are creating a ton of opportunities either, or converting. They do create a lot. I shouldn't have said it like that. But converting on their opportunities. They don't have a ton of that. Their power play really hasn't scored either. But the Devils, that's where they had an advantage in this series. They had the better power play. They can create on the power play. And they haven't done it yet. They've given Carolina a goal. Carolina's game-winning goal came tonight shorthanded. You have a top 3 power play. You're already injured. Not only are you not doing it on the power play, you're hurting yourself on the power play. It's been inexcusable to this point. I said before the series started, you have to find a way to go around a power play goal per game. They're 0 for 5. You kind of call them -1 for 5, considering that up a short-handed goal, which wound up being the most important goal in this game. When you look at the chances and how the Devils have converted on their chances, or rather say they haven't converted on their chances, it's been inexcusable to this point. Now, I know Sheldon Keefe came out and said that, we've shown tonight that we can compete with these guys. Well, scoreboard says otherwise. Now, did they compete? Absolutely. Did it matter that much? No. I mean, it's the unfortunate, harsh truth in games from March on. That's just how it is. It's not about competing with teams, playing, being able to stick with a team, being happy about being able to compete with a team. What is it? What does it mean? Because the scoreboard and the series says 2-0 Carolina, and now you're going back to New Jersey. You probably have to get both. I said it earlier today. I'm a big believer in whoever wins 4 first. I don't really call a series of 4. It's actually called at 4 games. So do I see these as must-win games? They're close to it, but I don't go there. Momentum changes quick in the NHL. 2-0 comes 2-1. All of a sudden, you're talking about, all of a sudden talked about the other team choking it. It's interesting to me. But when I look at it, I know 86% of teams that go up 2-0 win this series. I'm not freaking out about that yet. I'm not happy about that. The things that the Devils did well during the regular season, they haven't done well in this first round. Like, these are self-inflicting things. Getting outshot in game 1 in the first period, 17-5. What are we like? What is that? That didn't happen really all during the regular season. Unready to play, I guess, in game 1. Nerves were there. I mean, there's only so many things we can say. Tonight, look, yes, did they compete with them? Absolutely. I look a little bit more into that. They didn't convert. That's what they did. They did not convert on any of their chances. It really is a shame. What wasn't a shame tonight, or I thought wasn't a shame. Defensively, thought they played really, really well. Who I want to, shout out outside of, Brett Pesce, who played fantastic tonight, saved 2 goals himself. Brian Dumoulin logged a lot of minutes tonight. But outside of those two, I thought Simon Nemec was very impressive tonight. I thought he was, when the Devils were in the offensive zone, he was probably their best offensive defenseman tonight. He was able to play in the transitional game. He wasn't caught out of position. He kept the turnovers low. I thought Simon Nemec was very, very good tonight. Played 14 minutes and gave him a good 14 minutes. Dennis Cholowski, obviously the least amount of ice time, but, there wasn't anything out there that was glaring, like a mistake or anything like that. I thought they both played very, very well, and I was very impressed with Simon Nemec tonight. I thought he actually made a difference in tonight's game, even though they lose the game. So Simon Nemec played really well tonight. So I think that's something to take away. No update on Brenden, Dillon, or Luke Hughes on when they'll be back or if they'll be back in this series. So no update on that. I mean, the thing that really is a shame so far in this series is, they've really wasted 2 great performances from Jacob Markstrom. Now, was Frederik Andersen fantastic tonight? Yeah, he was. But could the Devils have found a way to capitalize on at least one of those opportunities? Because if they capitalize on one, game goes to overtime. Now, I know games, they sometimes take a different flow when a team scores. Just going off that, game's in overtime. And Jacob Markstrom has given them back-to-back great performances. He has not been whatsoever the problem. They needed him to be big. He has been big. They haven't taken advantage of their opportunities. You have to find a way to do that. Game 3, Friday, 8 p.m. Look, it's a game where you're home. Got to find a way to get a win here. Capitalize on a little bit more of those chances. You know, you probably win the game tonight. You're probably going back to New Jersey 1-1. Carolina, not a very good road team. So still, you know, like the Devils' chances. It wouldn't, you know, freak out yet. I know 2-0 doesn't look like the best thing in the world, but, you know, there are a lot of things that don't look great and then turn out good, or great, I should say. But 2-0, going back, New Jersey, Game 3. Look, energy is going to be there either way. You're going to get a chance to get back in this series. You could, you know, by midnight, I guess that'd be Saturday, by midnight, and you're feeling completely different feel of the game. So, Game 3, New Jersey, Friday night. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments, and if you'd like any roster adjustments. Obviously, there are some injuries, so maybe tweak to the lines. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think down below, and hopefully you guys subscribed. I'll talk to you guys really soon. All right, take care, guys.